Hello students, this is Mr. Garcia, and in this lesson you are going to learn about the law of detachment, the law of syllogism, and deductive reasoning. Okay, so just pay close attention as I go over the next few examples on the notes, and please copy the notes as I do them on the lesson. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. All right, so I'm going to show you the first two definitions. The first one is deductive reasoning, and this is the process of reasoning logically from given statements or facts to a conclusion. Okay. And the second definition is the law of detachment. When the hypothesis of one statement matches the hypothesis of another statement, you can draw the same conclusion. So the second conclusion is detached, and you'll see what that means in a moment. So I'm going to introduce you to the symbols, okay? So the symbols say if P implies Q is true, and P is true, then Q is true. And you'll see what this means in a moment. I know it might not make any sense right now, but as I go over the examples, it'll make sense. So let's look at the first example. Okay, so this one says, if I go to the store, then I buy bread. So this is P and this is Q. Okay, so it happens that when I go to the store, you can expect me to buy bread. So now, let's see. I go to the store, so what can you expect? And this is, again, I'm just going to label it. This is P happening here. Okay, and I know I don't have much space to write on here, but this is P, this is the hypothesis. So I see the hypothesis here and it's repeating again. So when you see me go to the store, you can expect me to buy bread. So the conclusion for this one is that I'm going to buy bread. Okay, I buy bread, which is your conclusion. Okay, so you can expect Q to repeat. And I hope this starting to make sense. Let's go to the second example, okay? This one says, if it is raining, then I have an umbrella. So this will be your P, this is the hypothesis, and this is the conclusion. So whenever you see that it's raining, you can expect me to have an umbrella. So there I have it, this is P, hypothesis, and this is Q. Now watch what happens here. Watch what happened on the previous example. P happens again. Okay, here, so when you see P happening, you can expect Q to follow. But in this case, pay attention to this one here. It is raining, then I have an umbrella. This is P and this is Q. So the next one, I have an umbrella. Is this P or Q? Think about it, okay? So if what I have is Q and not P, you cannot conclude that it's raining. Okay, because I have the umbrella and maybe it's sunny and I want to, protect my skin from the sun rays. So anyways, the conclusion in this case is, what would be the conclusion? And there's actually no conclusion. Okay, why? I'll explain why. So the reason why, it's because the hypotheses, okay, do not match. And that is why, so the hypotheses have to match. If they don't match, then I cannot make a conclusion. And I hope that makes sense. So let's go on to the next page, and I'm sorry I couldn't see that. It seems kind of blurry from what I see here. Okay, try that. Okay, I'm sorry I had to mess with the camera here. And I hope you can read that clearly now. So if you didn't get this, just pause the video, copy it, and then we'll discuss this in the classroom further if you have any other questions. So you can also send me emails to ask me, okay? So let's go on to the next page. All right, so this is the second page of the notes, and this is the law of syllogism. When the conclusion of a true statement is the hypothesis of another true statement, you can combine the statements into a new one. So when conclusion and hypothesis are the same. So you'll see what this means in a moment. But first, let's do some symbols here. Okay, so if P implies Q is true and Q implies R is true, then P implies R is true. And I'll explain what this means on the following example, or with the following example. So I have the first example, and the first example says if I go to the store, then I buy bread. So you can expect I go to the store to be P and I buy bread to be Q. Now next, if I buy bread, okay, so watch this is Q again. I buy bread is Q, I buy bread is happening. Then I make a sandwich. Now this is another one. So this will be R. So we see Q, and we see R, which is what the symbols are saying here. P implies Q, Q implies R. So we have that part. Now we can make this conclusion that whenever P happens, R is going to follow also. Okay? So conclusion here, what's my conclusion? My conclusion is that if I can jump, so I can jump from P to R. So I would say if I go to the store, okay, so if I go to the store, then I make a sandwich, okay? And I hope you can see that this is P, this is the hypothesis now. Notice how we're jumping from the hypothesis all the way to our new conclusion. In this case is this one here, which is R. Okay? All right, so there is that. Let's go on to another example. So this one says, if you do gymnastics, then you are flexible. So let's mark our P and Q. So I know this is P, and I know this is going to be Q. Okay? Then you're flexible. But watch this one here. If you do ballet, then you're flexible. So I'm going to underline here. And what's this one? And I should have used that blue. I'm sorry for the confusion. So this is Q. So you see R anywhere here? And watch the flow. The flow has to be like this one here. P implies Q, Q implies R, P implies R. Okay, just like the previous example. But in this case, we know this is R, but notice that they're out of order. This could be R, but they're out of order. So if that's the case, conclusion is there is no conclusion here. No conclusion, and the reason why is because conclusion of the first does not match the hypotheses. Okay, hypotheses of the second statement. Okay, so just pay close attention to here. The reason why we can't make a conclusion again, because we don't see the flow like we did on the first example. And I hope that makes sense. Okay, I'll talk to you on the next lesson, and in the classroom if you're face to face. Okay, bye-bye.